In the name of God, the Holy and Undivided Trinity, Amen. I am the Good Shepherd, Jesus says twice in this passage. Whenever we hear Jesus say something like that in John's Gospel, I am, whether it's I am the Good Shepherd, or I am the way and the truth and the life, or I am resurrection and I am life, or even the seemingly boring, I am the gate, what should kind of go off in the back of our minds is God speaking to Moses from the bush that burned without being consumed. When Moses said, "Hey, what's your name?" And God's response was, "I am that I am." Very intentionally, in John's Gospel, Jesus asks us to imagine and experience an equal sign. One side, God saying to Moses, "I am that I am," and the other side, Jesus saying, "I am the Good Shepherd. I am the way, the truth, and the life." Whenever Jesus says, "I am," it should spark our imagination. And we should say, "Ooh, that's what he means. Wait a minute, that's the point." Because it is the point. Jesus talks in this gospel about what it means to be the Good Shepherd. I am the Good Shepherd. I lay down my life for the sheep. Through Lent and through Holy Week, we talk about the mystery of the cross in terms of penitence, and we talk in terms of how it makes us feel horrified, or however it does make us feel. When we get to Easter and we hear Jesus saying, "I am the Good Shepherd, and I lay down my life for the sheep," that makes our feet move a little bit. That invites us to celebrate. That invites us to sing "Halle, halle, halle" over and over and over again, because we are thinking about the mystery of the cross in terms of the resurrection, that Jesus laid his life down to take it up again. Jesus laid his life down out of love. Did y'all catch that in the epistle in 1 John? This is how we know love. It is that Jesus laid down his life. And beyond that, Jesus asks us to share that love, that commandment, love one another. It'll get us every time. Man, I didn't know there was going to be a test. Every time, love one another. Let that love guide you. Let that love define your life. Let that love remind you every day that we're walking through this world in newness of life. We are walking through this world as people who have experienced resurrection, who have experienced the good news that the risen Christ brings. And we celebrate. We celebrate Jesus saying, "I am the Good Shepherd. I laid down my life for the sheep." And Jesus contrasts the Good Shepherd with the hired hand who doesn't care about the sheep. The wolf shows up and the hired hand exits, disappears, lets the sheep fend for themselves. That's what the hired hand does. And I wonder sometimes, what is it that we pay more attention to? What is the hired hand for us? What takes our eyes off the Good Shepherd and makes us want to follow the hired hand? Follow the ways of this world. Follow the way it's always been, even when it really hadn't always been that way. Follow our own agendas, our own opinions, our own commitments, when Jesus is inviting us to follow him, the Good Shepherd, the one that lays down his life for the sheep, the one that teaches us that love is what makes all the difference, that love is what gives the cross its value, and thanks be to God, love is what gives resurrection its value, brings that mystery out, shows it to us as if it were written in letters of fire 50 miles high. Sorry, I've been reading Douglas Adams again lately, so we see it, we feel it, we experience it when we open our ears to the voice of the Good Shepherd, to the voice of the one who lays down his life for the sheep, to the voice of the one inviting us to experience that love that changes everything, changes us and changes the whole world, and calls us to respond. If you got the world's goods, the first epistle of John says, and you're holding on to them for yourself while your brothers and your sisters are in need, that doesn't look much like love to me. If you're hoarding these things and imagining that we're going to run out, there's not enough love to go around, we're not going to have enough, Jesus says, nope, counterexample. More love, more love, more love, more love. That is what Jesus does. Invites us to listen to his voice. Allow that call to lead us out of our habitual ways of being in this world, to recognize that resurrection means new life. Resurrection is all about renewal. Resurrection is all about our willingness to be changed, to let God's grace and God's love surprise us, to let God's grace and God's love renew us, to let God's grace and God's love be the definition of our life in this world. Not all those other things that compete. Not fear, not power, not strength. Y'all, not even virtue. We can't trust in any of these things. What we can trust in is the one who's calling us out by name, saying, I am the Good Shepherd. I've laid down my life for the sheep. And what I am doing above all else, Jesus says, is making this world new, is making one flock and one shepherd. And I cannot think of any news better than that on this fourth Sunday of Easter, on this Good Shepherd Sunday. It's an invitation. Listen to his voice. Follow where he leads, wherever that might be. Calls out our name. Hey, St. Stephen's, follow me. Come on, let's go. Let's have remarkable, holy, life-changing fun. Let's have a big old resurrection party, because there is one flock and one shepherd, and love makes all the difference. Amen.